Breaking news, Kyle Dubas is not coming back as general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Dubas is out after 5 seasons at the helm of the Leafs. Toronto made the playoffs each year Dubas was GM, but until this year, they'd failed to make it out of the first round. Of course, we just saw the Leafs getting eliminated in 5 games in the second round by the Florida Panthers. Dubas' contract was set to expire at the end of June. Leafs president Brendan Shanahan will hold the press conference coming up this afternoon at 3 o'clock. So, got to continue to talk more about this breaking news. TSN Radio's Matt Cause joins us now live in front of a camera. He's dropped his phone, and here he is. Matt, we were talking about, potentially replacements here, but let's first of all talk about Dubas as well. The fact that he's not coming back, is this a reflection of the job Dubas did, or is this a reflection of the job the players did on the ice?
This is mostly a reflection of the job that the players did on the ice. They failed him. Now, when the players say, well, it's a higher pay grade about who decided to get rid of Kyle Dubas, this is not on us. No, that's not true. It is on the players. It is on Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Tavares, who didn't produce on a consistent basis in the playoffs. I would also blame, in some ways, this is kind of an indirect result of what happened with COVID. Because when the Maple Leafs, when Kyle Dubas signed all those players to a big contract, everyone assumed the salary cap would continue to go up. Then COVID happened. The salary cap went flat for years. It made the Leafs' job, or the Leafs' ability to bring in other players, much more difficult. This was an experiment by Dubas to go really top-heavy on skilled players. It didn't work, but I would put it first on the players before I put it on the now former general manager.
And that's an interesting point, Matt, because I think I saw a stat on TSN's Instagram the other day about the fact that no team or no player on a team earning more than $10 million is actually in the final 2 rounds of the Stanley Cup Finals this year. And, we all know the core 4 in Toronto were making almost half of their overall salary.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe Bobrovsky, it doesn't matter. No, but that is certainly the trend of never having a forward or defenseman getting $10 million more to win the cup. Eventually that'll change, but it hasn't happened as of yet. And also look at the teams in the finals. Carolina is not a team stacked with offensive talent at forward. Neither really is Florida. They traded Jonathan Huberdeau, and now they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. And they're a team that fired their coach and general manager. Same thing in the West as well. The Maple Leafs tried this style. And by the way, in the regular season, they won more games than most other teams in the NHL. But come the playoffs, the production always declined, and that's the reason why Dubas does not have a job.
So what about Sheldon Keefe? Should he be concerned now? Because, obviously Dubas brought Keefe in as the head coach. There was a close relationship there. What do you think he's thinking this afternoon?
He's thinking, I hope I didn't buy and that I am renting, and at least I no longer have to deal with traffic and trying to get on the Gardiner. And I don't mean to be glib about it, because you don't like it when any person ever loses their job. It is an upheaval on them, on their family and their friends, but this is the NHL. They fire coaches in this league more than any other. Look in the NBA, every coach who won the championship, they're now out as well. If the general manager is out and you're bringing a new general manager in, usually that means they want a new coaching staff. They want to start fresh. If I had to bet, I would say Sheldon Keefe, unfortunately, will be let go.
Right. Okay. And so let's finish here, because, you talked about the fact, when we were talking on the phone just as the news broke, that, the team is in a win now mode.
Yep.
But we've also talked about the production that's been dropping off in the playoffs of that core 4 here. Whoever comes in next, they have to do something to break up or shake up this team. How big of a trade do you think we could see from this team in the offseason?
You could see a massive one. I mean, if it is going to be a Nylander or a Marner or a Matthews, I'm not going to put Tavares on it. He has no trade clause, and no one's going to take that salary at that age. You're talking about getting back tons of assets. And what the Leafs really need to do here, it's like all of us with our stock profile. You got to diversify. So maybe more talent on the third line. Maybe one more really stout defenseman. The Maple Leafs have got to find a way to bring more balance. Just look at the last couple of years in the Stanley Cup Finals. We see a lot of that.
Yeah, it's true. So true. Okay, we're going to hear from Brendan Shanahan coming up at 3 o'clock this afternoon. It'll be interesting to hear his take and his analysis of what's going on with the club. TSN Radio's Matt Cause. Again, appreciate this. Thanks for the time.
Absolutely.